Imagine a massive enterprise AI rollout. On paper, it is a triumph. The code is clean, the infrastructure is robust, and from an IT perspective, the system is switched on and executing millions of operations per second flawlessly. But look at the operations floor, and you see a different reality. Workflows are stalled, adoption rates are sitting in the single digits, and your most reliable employees are suddenly handing in their notice. Integrating artificial intelligence into an enterprise rarely breaks down because of weak software. It breaks down because organizational adoption is an intensely human and cultural challenge. You can spend tens of millions of dollars engineering a pristine technical deployment, but if you ignore the psychology of the workforce tasked with using it, the entire operation will fail on contact with reality. Employees in this situation are facing what psychologists call unknown management. They are staring at a technology with undefined capabilities that processes information faster than they can. Their immediate, natural reaction is acute anxiety about their own job security. In a standard corporate environment, executives rely on a command and control structure. You analyze known variables, set strict targets, and issue top-down directives to your staff. But you cannot mandate trust. Issuing a memo from the IT department detailing software specifications does nothing to quiet the anxiety of a worker who believes they are training their replacement. When executives double down on rigid orders in the middle of this technological ambiguity, they actually stop leading. They create a leadership vacuum right when the workforce is most fragile. Navigating an unmapped work environment means throwing out the old playbook. To prevent organizational collapse, leaders must adopt an entirely new behavioral approach. That transition requires a servant leader mindset. Executives have to stop acting like commanders, shouting orders from the back of the room, and start operating as coaches, actively guiding the team. The first step in this shift is taking on the role of an internal consultant. Instead of pushing tech down the org chart, leaders diagnose the core needs of the business and bridge the gap between IT and daily operations. This visual map shows how that consultation works. A complex, abstract AI capability passes through the leadership filter and is translated directly into concrete business outcomes, like daily workflow efficiency and increased ROI. Framing the technology around tangible daily goals strips away the science fiction intimidation factor. It grounds the software in reality for an anxious workforce. By acting as a translator, leaders take an unpredictable, threatening system and turn it into a relatable tool that employees can understand and use. Once the technology is demystified, leaders apply a modified GROW model, a coaching framework specifically redesigned for an automated workplace. This adapted framework relies heavily on active listening and empathy. It is designed to bring an employee's unspoken fear of replacement out into the open so it can be managed directly. This timeline maps the journey. The goal is moving the employee from a vulnerable position of high anxiety through a structured transition into an empowered state alongside the algorithm. This middle transition phase requires continuous, cyclical check-ins as the software evolves. This framework turns coaching into a structured psychological progression, moving the workforce towards acceptance through consistent, measurable steps. All of that psychological support feeds directly into an operational strategy called dynamic steering. During those continuous coaching cycles, leaders work with employees to pinpoint exactly which repetitive daily tasks can be safely offloaded to the machine. This workflow flowchart shows the result. As routine tasks are diverted downward into the AI automation track, newly freed human talent is elevated into high-value strategic roles that a machine cannot replicate. Through targeted coaching, leaders successfully reallocate their human capital, turning the initial threat of automation into a measurable operational advantage. When the anxiety and friction evaporate, the organization locks into place. A fearful workforce is replaced by a highly resilient culture of innovation. In this hybrid workplace, the operational mechanics are strictly divided. The artificial intelligence takes over the heavy lifting of rote data processing and execution. Human employees, freed from repetitive tasks, dedicate their entire bandwidth to overarching strategy, complex problem-solving, and ethical guidance. Maximum performance is achieved only when the raw efficiency of an algorithm is paired with the empowered, strategic thinking of a human. To ensure this transition, executives must formally draft a personal leadership charter for the AI era, cementing their shift from commander to coach.
This charter requires a concrete, measurable roadmap detailing exactly how they will rescale their workforce and manage continuous coaching cycles as the technology evolves. To survive and thrive in a work environment dominated by artificial intelligence, leaders do not need to become software engineers. They need to double down on the skills that make them distinctly human.